There are so many videos out there telling you to wake up at 5 a.m. or even 4 a.m. And I've actually made a couple of videos where I've talked about how I wake up at 4 a.m. And it's not just because I want to get a bunch of stuff done before the rest of the world wakes up or to have a few hours to myself before my twins wake up. That's part of it. But the biggest reason that I do it is because this is when I am my most creative. From 5 a.m. until 1 p.m., I am my most happy, positive, productive, and creative. So if I wake up at 4 a.m., I have time for my morning routine, and then I can really maximize the amount of time that I can get work done during these really creative hours. I have some really close friends that get a surge of creative energy at 8 p.m. and do really creative work until 3 a.m. And so these people are really going to struggle to do the whole morning wake up routine. And if they can help it, it's really not something that they should even do. And so this video is really about how to identify when your most creative time is so that you can plan your life around when it's going to work best for you to get your best work done. So if you're somebody who feels like mornings are for sleeping, then don't give yourself a hard time and just move your day a little bit later. I think the most important thing is that you get your most creative work done within a few hours of waking up. And that's just because that's when you feel the most fresh and positive, and the rest of the day can't get in your way. By the time you get into the evening and you've kind of gone through your whole day, you've got other people's problems on your mind. You've got, everything that you've seen in your email inbox. Maybe you had something difficult happen at work or with a client. And so getting that important work done within the first few hours of waking up is a lot more important than doing it really early in the morning. I think the other reason that the morning routine gets such a positive reputation is because normally at the end of the day, we have something come up. So maybe someone's inviting you to a dinner, or you've got an event, or maybe you have to pick your kid up from school and you didn't expect to. Sometimes those things end up coming up later in the day. The part about the morning routine or the early morning wake ups that people like is that nothing can kind of get in your way. If you're somebody who has a later internal clock and you want to kind of get your work done later in the day, maybe not wake up so early, then having a block that you commit to and you don't waver from, even if you're invited to something, that's really going to be key, because you're going to have a lot more distractions than somebody who has their creative time taking place really early in the morning before the rest of the world is awake. If you're interested in waking up really early in the morning and you want to learn how to actually enjoy it, I did make another video specifically about that, so I'll link it in the description below. Because honestly, it's not about waking up early, but it's about having a consistent routine where you honor your own creative cycle. Because honestly, it's not about waking up at 4 a.m., but it's about having that creative time that you dedicate your most important work to. And then knowing when that creative time is so that you can mold your life around that time, really honor when that time is for yourself, and then be able to produce at your highest level, achieve your goals, and ultimately create the life that you want. If you're not sure if early mornings are for you, ask yourself these questions. Why do I want to wake up early? Your why and your purpose is the most important part, because whether or not you're a morning person or you have an amazing morning routine, there's going to be days that you don't feel like waking up regardless of what time that time is. And so knowing your why is going to tell you whether or not, hey, is that why strong enough to get me up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m.? And if it's not, then mornings might not be the best time for you. The next question you want to ask yourself is, what can I do to set myself up for success? And again, the video I'm going to link to below kind of maps out what you can do the night before and that morning to set yourself up to actually, want to get up and not feel too overwhelmed. But ask yourself, what can I do? Is there anything I can do that can make this easier on me? And then the last one is really the big question. When am I my most creative? And I think that this one is going to take a little bit of experimenting. So if you're somebody who has your own business, you can definitely get a chunk of work and do it really early in the morning, the middle of the day, a little bit later in the afternoon, and you can start to see, when do I get my best work done? But if you're somebody who doesn't have your own business and you can't really take your work home, to do in the morning or at night, or maybe you just really don't want to, then try to find some standardized testing questions, like SAT questions, and choose a subject that you like. So make sure that, you're choosing questions that are within a subject that you actually know about and that you like, because it's not meant to be really, really difficult. But if you take a sample of those questions and then do a different sample of the same type of questions at different times throughout the day, you can just see how you feel. Do you go into it in the morning with a totally clear head, feeling like, wow, I'm really coming up with the answers for these easily? Or do you find that in the 2 hours you give yourself to do the questions, you could barely answer any? And you answered them all and did really well when you did them at 2 p.m. So I'll link to an SAT prep website. Take some time to find something that you can sort of A/B test. When I do these in the morning, do I do better than when I do them in the afternoon? And that can help you see when you're your most creative if you don't already know. If you've been on the fence about waking up early and the whole wake up early craze, I hope you found this helpful. The key is to just really honor your own body. We're all unique and we have different internal clocks and we have different times when we are our most creative. So just tap into what you actually need, do some experimenting, and this is going to really help you grow a lot of compassion for yourself and get a lot of stuff done. If you're new here, I would love for you to stay and subscribe. If you are returning, thank you so much again for spending your time with me, and I will see all of you guys in next week's video.